Have you ever wondered why the words of one man, spoken more than 2,000 years ago, still inspire billions of people today? Not because he led the biggest army, not because he ruled the greatest empire, and not because he possessed earthly wealth. Jesus Christ changed the world with something far more powerful: truth, love, forgiveness, and hope. But here's something many people miss. Jesus didn't come merely to establish a religion. He came to transform hearts. His teachings weren't reserved for kings or scholars. They were spoken to fishermen, farmers, widows, children, and ordinary people searching for meaning in an uncertain world. And perhaps that's why his message continues to speak to us today. Imagine standing on a quiet hillside in Galilee. The morning sun rises over the Sea of Galilee. People gather from nearby villages. Some are sick, some are grieving, some have lost everything. Others simply want answers. Then Jesus begins to speak. His first words surprise everyone. "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." To the world, greatness belongs to the strongest, but Jesus teaches that true strength begins with humility. He isn't talking about weakness. He's talking about recognizing our need for God. The world tells us to prove ourselves. Jesus teaches us to surrender ourselves. And in that surrender, we discover real peace. Then he says something even more remarkable. "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." In a world that often celebrates revenge, Jesus introduces an entirely different way of living. He teaches that forgiveness is not surrendering to evil. It is refusing to let hatred control your heart. Mercy doesn't change the past, but it has the power to change the future. Perhaps one of the greatest lessons Jesus ever taught was this: love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Imagine hearing those words for the first time. Love your enemies? It sounded impossible. Even today, it still challenges us. Jesus wasn't asking people to ignore injustice. He was teaching that love is stronger than hatred, and forgiveness is stronger than revenge. Because darkness can never drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hatred can never remove hatred. Only love can. These weren't just beautiful words. Jesus lived every one of them. He healed those society rejected. He welcomed people others refused to touch. He ate with sinners. He comforted the broken. And he reminded every person that their value came from God, not from their past mistakes. For Jesus, no one was beyond hope. No one was forgotten. No one was too far gone to receive God's love. And that's where his teachings begin. Not with rules, but with grace. Not with fear, but with hope. Not with condemnation, but with compassion. Because before Jesus asked anyone to change, he first showed them they were deeply loved. If there is one message that echoes throughout the life of Jesus, it is this: God doesn't see people the way the world does. The world judges by appearance, status, wealth, and success. Jesus looks at the heart. One day, a religious expert asked him a simple question: "Teacher, what is the greatest commandment?" Out of hundreds of laws, Jesus gave an answer that changed everything. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Then he added something equally powerful: love your neighbor as yourself. In those few words, Jesus summarized the foundation of an entire life. Real faith isn't measured only by what happens inside a place of worship. It is revealed by how we treat people every single day. The stranger, the lonely, the poor, the forgotten, the difficult person, the one who disagrees with us.
Jesus taught that love is not merely an emotion, it is a choice we make again and again. Then he told a story that still challenges people today. A traveler was attacked, robbed, and left injured beside the road. Several respected religious men passed by. They saw him, but kept walking. Finally, a Samaritan, a man from a group often looked down upon, stopped. He cleaned the stranger's wounds, placed him on his own animal, paid for his care, and expected nothing in return. When Jesus finished the story, he asked, "Who was the true neighbor?" The answer was obvious: the one who showed mercy. Jesus was teaching that compassion has no boundaries. Love is not limited by nationality, not by race, not by background, not even by personal differences. Another day, Peter asked Jesus, "Lord, how many times should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times?" Peter probably thought he was being generous, but Jesus replied, "Not 7 times, but 77 times." He wasn't giving a mathematical formula. He was revealing the limitless nature of forgiveness. Holding on to bitterness may feel powerful, but it slowly imprisons the one carrying it. Forgiveness doesn't always erase pain. It doesn't pretend that wrong never happened. Instead, it frees the heart from becoming controlled by anger. Jesus knew that healing often begins where forgiveness starts. Then he spoke about worry, words that remain just as comforting today as they were centuries ago. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Jesus wasn't saying life would be easy. He was reminding people that fear cannot change the future, but faith can change how we face it. He invited his followers to trust God one day at a time, one step, one prayer, one act of faith. Because even in life's greatest storms, God never loses control. As Jesus' earthly journey continued, his teachings became even more surprising. People expected a king who would conquer nations. Instead, they found a servant who washed the feet of his own disciples. On the night before his crucifixion, Jesus did something no king had ever done. He knelt before his followers, picked up a towel, and began washing their dusty feet. The disciples were shocked. Peter even protested, "Lord, you shall never wash my feet." But Jesus gently replied, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." Then he gave them a lesson the world still struggles to understand. Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. In God's kingdom, greatness is not measured by power, it is measured by humility. Not by how many people serve you, but by how many people you choose to serve. Jesus didn't simply preach humility, he lived it again and again. Another day, people brought little children to Jesus. The disciples tried to send them away. Perhaps they believed Jesus had more important things to do. But Jesus stopped them. He smiled at the children and said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." It was a beautiful reminder. Childlike faith is not childish faith. Children trust completely. They believe without pride. They love without pretending. And Jesus called that kind of heart precious in God's sight. Soon after, a wealthy young man approached Jesus with an important question. "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" He had obeyed many commandments. He was respected, successful, religious, yet something was still missing. Jesus looked at him with love and said, "Go, sell what you have, give to the poor, and follow me." The man walked away saddened, not because Jesus rejected him, but because he couldn't let go of what already possessed his heart. Jesus wasn't teaching that wealth itself is evil. He was teaching that nothing should become more important than God. Money can buy comfort, success can bring recognition, but neither can satisfy the deepest hunger of the human soul. Then Jesus looked at the crowd and said, "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world, yet loses his own soul?" That question still echoes across generations. In a world chasing more, Jesus invites us to seek what truly lasts. Not temporary success, but eternal purpose. Not possessions, but peace. Not popularity, but a relationship with God. Because according to Jesus, the richest life isn't measured by what we own, it's measured by the love we give, the faith we live, and the hope we place in God. As Jesus' earthly journey drew to its final days, the world witnessed the greatest example of love ever shown. He had healed the sick, given sight to the blind, fed the hungry, comforted the brokenhearted, yet many still rejected him. He was betrayed by one of his own disciples, arrested, mocked, and sentenced to die on a cross. To many, it looked like the end of his mission, but in God's plan, it was only the beginning. Even while suffering on the cross, Jesus spoke words that continue to amaze people around the world. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." In a moment filled with pain, he chose forgiveness over revenge, mercy over anger, love over hatred. That single prayer became one of the most powerful lessons in human history. Jesus showed that real strength is not found in taking revenge, it is found in choosing love when hatred seems easier. But the story did not end at the cross. 3 days later, according to the Gospels, the tomb was found empty. His followers proclaimed that Jesus had risen from the dead, bringing hope where there had been despair and life where there had been death. For millions of Christians, the resurrection is the foundation of their faith. It is a reminder that no darkness lasts forever, no failure is final, and with God, hope is never lost. The teachings of Jesus continue to inspire people because they speak to every generation. Love without expecting anything in return. Forgive even when it is difficult. Serve others with humility. Trust God when the future feels uncertain. Choose compassion instead of judgment. Seek eternal treasures rather than temporary success. These principles have influenced families, communities, and cultures for centuries. Whether someone is facing fear, loss, success, or uncertainty, the words of Jesus continue to offer direction and hope. Perhaps that is why his message has endured for more than 2,000 years. Not because it promises an easy life, but because it offers a meaningful one. So today, take a moment to reflect. What would our homes look like if we loved more deeply? What would our communities become if we forgave more freely? What would change if we chose kindness before criticism and hope before fear? Sometimes the greatest transformation doesn't begin with the world, it begins with one heart, one decision, one act of faith. If this message encouraged you, share it with someone who may need hope today. And if you believe the teachings of Jesus still have the power to change lives, leave a comment saying, "Amen, Jesus is the way." Thank you for watching, and may God's peace, wisdom, and grace be with you always.